Hello everyone. Tonight, the repercussions for government's revenue agenda as Parliament adjourns sitting to January next year. And following last night's brawl among MPs, we ask, could there be an alternative to the e-levy? Up tonight, Carl Bank MD Philip Oredu on how the economy will fare in 2022 amid a pandemic surge.
We learned from the first wave that we had, and we've been able to ensure that we put in place measures for both customers and staff to be able to ensure that we are able to deal with it in terms of the ramifications of COVID.
And we are at the CIMG's 31st presidential ball, where the institute has renewed its commitment to support government in developing policy and regulation for marketing Ghana.
To actively work towards repositioning Ghana as a beacon of democracy, reasonably and relatively matured compared to her peers, in order to attract the attention of the global investor community.
My name is Darrell Kwao. Thanks for joining us tonight. Details in a moment. Well, first up tonight, Parliament has adjourned proceedings to January 18 next year, cutting short any attempt to approve or reject the e-levy bill. This follows a free-for-all brawl last night, which left some MPs injured. Watch this.
It was a free-for-all brawl by members of Parliament, hands at each other's throats, throwing punches like boxers in the ring, and ripping apart each other's shirts. This violent scene is playing out on the Speaker's days as the MPs fight over the Speaker's seat. The night had started with Parliament requiring to vote on whether or not to take the controversial e-levy under a certificate of urgency. But Speaker Alban Bagbin was nowhere to be found. If he did not return to his chair, then the MPP side will lose one vote, as the first Deputy Speaker, who was presiding, will not have a vote.
So that was a bit of what happened last night. The House reconvened this morning, where an application was moved by Majority Leader State Chairman Saponsu, urging the House to adjourn to ensure a serene environment for the consideration of the controversial e-levy bill. Now, following the events of last night, many are asking, is it going to be the e-levy at all costs? And let's bring in Chief Finance Officer at the Valley View University, Dr. Williams Pepra, to make sense of all that has been happening in the last few hours. Obviously, great to have you on the program, Dr. Pepra. Obviously, government works with a plan. So what are the repercussions as the House adjourns sitting to next year with no e-levy? We don't know what will happen when the House resumes sitting next year, but already government's plan to raise more revenue has hit a roadblock.
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers. I think the last time we spoke, I mentioned that government must go on an element of 3 C's. That is, first, government must use cooperation, collaboration, and consultation. What happened last night? It tells us that government was not able to use these elements to reach a consensus with the opposition side. The impact is that it is going to affect government program if it is not approved. And as it has been postponed to January, It means that there will be a little delay in government raising money to run this program in 2022. The long delay for the House coming back in January means that probably there will be more consultation. And from the way we see it, each side of the House have taken a trend position. And this requires them to cooperate, collaborate, to be able to reach a consensus. For my advice, if the 1.75, which is the problem, government still has the option to add value-added tax charge on the transaction fee of all mobile money transactions or electronic transactions. In that case, government, I'm just basing my argument on the 500 billion that was mentioned. Government will still get roughly 7.5 billion if government uses that approach. I understand that the telcos are also prepared to lower their transaction fees by 20%, which will also mean that what I'm proposing will bring a reduction in the impact on mobile money users. And currently, there's a concern that if we don't take the e-levy electronic, when it comes to force, will cripple the industry. And I'm sure that the telcos who have built their infrastructure, they will not want this to happen to them. So that's why they're also giving a 20% reduction. And so this is a major concern, and I think that government should probably, if the 1.75 is a problem, must use the VAT law to bring that one in. And in that case, it will not be a major issue. If you listen to the minority, all they are saying is that the charge should not be on the transaction fee, but should rather be on the service fee charged by the telcos. So if government thinks that the 1.75 charge on the telcos will give them less than 1 billion, then they should use a value-added tax rate, and then that will give them about 7.5 billion, and which is almost close to the 8.5 billion that government projects to get from the 1.75. In fact, in economics, if government applies this transaction on the transaction fee, virtually government is going to receive all monies in the country, because for every single transaction done in the bank, which is electronically done, government is going to get 1.75. Also, all mobile money transactions, government is going to get 1.75. So, in a cycle form, government is going to, by the time we will see, government would have collected all the monies in the system back into their coffers for their operation. That's why the focus or the attention should go on the service fee and not the transaction fee.
My final question to you, should it be the e-levy at all costs, seeing that this tax policy is unpopular with the people, and indeed many economists have kicked against it as well? So it makes you wonder if that is the only alternative to raise more revenue?
No, no, because we still have the royalties area where we have not moved up. We're still around the 15%. And if you look at what is currently happening in the world, gold price is a little bit going up. Oil is also, though it's going down, but the volumes that we are discovering new oil fields will bring in us more royalties. And also, the minister himself made an assertion that there are only 2.5 taxpayers in the country, which to me, we should see a plan how government is going to make sure that we increase the number of taxpayers in the country to about 6 million. And this, once we're able to do this, assume that the 6 million people paying the same rate, we will get more than the 8.5 billion that we are fighting over it now. So the government effort should go on how to bring in the citizens who are into income generating activities but are not paying taxes. The fact is that the minister himself pointed it out. In Ashanti region, there are only 1.3% of the people paying taxes. Right. Why is the government not making a plan to go to Ashanti region? to collect the taxes. Why the government not making plans to go to Western region to collect the taxes from the people? But if you use the e-levy approach, at the end of the day, the taxes will be paid by the same 2.5 million people. So it's just a matter of government making sure that he has more labor added to the GRA, giving them higher targets, and ask them to go to Ashanti region where we have a lot of the informal sector. That alone in Ashanti region, if you are more serious, we'll get more money from Ashanti.
Yeah, and the risk of hurting our financial inclusion agenda is also there. Thanks very much indeed. Dr. Williams Pepa, Chief Finance Officer of the Valley View University. Appreciate your thoughts tonight. Now, some banks have expressed optimism of an economic rebound in 2022, even better than what was witnessed in 2021 amid COVID-19. According to Managing Director of Cal Bank, Philip Oredu, even though the pandemic brought some disruptions this year, the sector was able to surmount the pressure. He spoke to Joy Business at this year's Staff Thanksgiving service organized by the bank.
According to the Bank of Ghana's Banking Sector Development Report, an assessment of the banking sector performance in 2020 showed that the industry somewhat withstood the first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic on the back of strong policy support and regulatory reliefs. Managing Director of Cal Bank, Philip Oredu, said, considering measures being put in place, the bank will witness significant performance in the year 2022, even with the emergence of the Omicron variant.
I think last year COVID was quite new to everyone. So in terms of coming to terms with it, in terms of getting to know how to manage it, was quite a difficult one. Though we've had a second wave in this country this year, in terms of management of it, at least we learned from the first wave that we had, and we've been able to ensure that we put in place measures for both customers and staff to be able to ensure that we are able to deal with it in terms of the ramifications of COVID. So compared to last year, this year I would say that we've been able to manage this quite well.
Meanwhile, sharing the bank's outlook for 2022, the Cal Bank MD says his outfit will continue to improve on its retail banking as part of a 3-year growth strategy.
As an institution, we have our strategic initiatives, and as I said, we put together a 3-year strategy. The core of it is to ensure that in terms of our retail business, we expand our retail business. Our people are key to us. Technology is key to us. Our culture is key to us. Risk management is key to us. So throughout this year, we've prosecuted quite a number of initiatives in terms of what we set for ourselves for the first year. We would reinforce all that we need to do in 2022, and as I said, the strategy is for a 3-year period.
This year's Cal Bank Staff Thanksgiving service featured the celebration of some dedicated staff for their long service.
The Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana has renewed its commitment to support government in developing policy and regulation for marketing Ghana. According to the institute, there is the need to draw foreign attention to Ghana's vibrant democratic environment, a situation expected to boost foreign inflows. President of the CIMG, Dr. Daniel Kasati, made this known at the 31st President's Ball organized by the institute.
This we are mandated to do under Sections 3, A, B, and C of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Act 2020, Act 1021. It is imperative for CIMG under the Act to set the agenda for the practice of marketing, champion the role and value of marketing as a catalyst, as a critical tool for business development, and support government in the development of policy and regulation for marketing Ghana. It is our expectation at the end of the day that this theme will prompt Ghana as a body corporate, and all other units operating within, whether in the public or private sector, to actively work towards repositioning Ghana as a beacon of democracy, reasonably and relatively matured compared to her peers, in order to attract the attention of the global investor community, including tourists and leisure travelers, to consider Ghana as their must-go-to destination in Africa.
The CIMG President's Board featured the induction of new members into the Institute. Marketing Man of the Year and Chief Executive of MTN Ghana, Salom Adadivo, admonished practitioners to uphold good ethics in marketing practice.
Congratulations to all of you. It's great to see all of you join the CIMG, and I'm sure we'll hear more about your contributions to not only the CIMG, but to the marketing world overall. I'm particularly excited to be part of this ceremony tonight. It's always great to see all the energy from marketers, and for myself to know that we're all in very good hands. As I said at the beginning as well, I talked a lot about how COVID-19 has changed the world we live in today, and that we really have to adapt, and we have no option if we want to survive. In my closing remarks, I just want to remind all of us that this means a lot to the marketing profession as well. And the way we think about marketing, the way we think about getting to customers, the variables we think that allow us to segment our users, to be able to design the right marketing campaigns, have all changed. And to be more effective, we all have to embrace what these changes mean in our own lives and our own jobs. So moving forward, we can continue to be as effective as we have been in the past.
The CIMG President's Board saw the Director of Sales and Marketing at Graphic Communications Group, Franklin Sowa, as well as Chief Marketing Officer of MTN, Noel Kojo-Ganson, recognized as Fellows of the CIMG. And you're watching Business Live. We're taking a short break. We have some more stories for you when we come back. Welcome back to Business Live. The Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority, Pius Enam Hajide, has revealed that as part of efforts to support the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, his outfit intends to focus on the economic development of young entrepreneurs. He made this known at the Ghana Startup Network's 5th Young Entrepreneurs Summit organized in Accra.
The summit sought to create an enabling platform for Ghanaian youth, women and young entrepreneurs to be sensitized on the various protocols of AFCFTA and to discuss the strategy by national institution to facilitate trading beyond borders. Speaking to Joy Business, Pius Enam Hajide indicated that his outfit will pay keen attention to the economic progress of youth entrepreneurs.
We have decided that we must pay attention and some focus on the economic strand of development. And we believe that that will create the jobs. It will change young people from job seekers to job creators.
Chief Executive of Maslok, Hajia Abibata Shani Mahama, on her part, outlined some financial and access packages Her outfit is currently running to support youth, women and young entrepreneurs.
Can take the small loan from 5,000 Ghana cedis to 200,000 Ghana cedis at the CU's level, but any amount beyond 200,000 Ghana cedis, it has to go to the board. We are open to every Ghanaian citizen 18 years and above. So once you come to Maslog, what we require from you are your bank statements, registration documents, SIN number, and in some cases collateral. But for the youth, we are looking at a way that we can do a waiver on the collateral. For example, when the youth want to start businesses, they may not necessarily have collateral. So what do we do in place of collateral? So it's something that we are into discussion.
However, Solomon Ejay, Executive Director, Ghana Startup Network, has urged institutions to put their words into actions.
So we'll put ourselves together as young people. We'll test the system and see how it works. I mean, we not like we are testing, but then we'll apply it to the system and see if it will really give us what we need as young people. And we believe that with the word that they're giving us today, they will walk by their talk to make sure that the young people get the benefit they need to get to trade beyond borders of Ghana.
Now, in a bid to improve electricity access in Sierra Leone, government has sent a delegation led by Vice President Dr. Mohamed Jallow to Ghana to meet institutions in the energy sector in the country. Sierra Leone, with 31% energy access, has challenges in the area of generation transmission and distribution and governance, but is ready to learn from Ghana to improve the situation. Dr. Mohamed Jallow discloses when the delegation visited Ghana Grid Company in Tema. Correspondent Kwame Anka has more.
This was the second time a high-level delegation from Sierra Leone was visiting Gridco, following an earlier one led by the country's president, Julius Maada Bio. Sierra Leone currently has challenges in the area of power generation, transmission and distribution, and governance, but is ready to learn from Ghana. For the delegation, the visit was even more important as the country is part of the agreement between Côte d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone and Guinea to undertake the CLLG Transco project, which spans over 1,300 kilometers to export power from Côte d'Ivoire. Vice President Dr. Mohamed Jallow says there is the need to continue investing in energy.
The energy sector is a priority to Sierra Leone government for several reasons. As a government that wants to open up its sectors, as a government that wants to open up its country, as a government that wants to attract foreign direct investment, as a government that wants to bolster the productive sector, it is but very important that we focus and invest enormously in the energy sector. We have been doing that progressively under the leadership of the Honorable Minister of Energy, Dr. Alhaji Kanja Sise. When we came in, energy access in Sierra Leone was 16%. Today, 3 years down the line, we are 31%, and we know that we still need to do more.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of Gridco, Ebenezer Sienyi, says the collaboration provides an avenue to share experience and information.
That we went, we are ready to guide you in any aspect of our works. The traps that we fell in, what we learned, what is it that we must do going forward. Then also, based on our knowledge of the industry, for you, based on the Transco CLLG project and the need for you to acquire the knowledge in terms of planning, maintenance, we are ready. You just need to call on us and we'll gladly come and assist your team in setting things up. With respect to the compact, we have done ours successfully. Lucky for us, we had major grant component of it that we use for our 2 big substations in Ghana. I believe you visited there, and therefore it's something that if you happen to be willing to let us help in any way possible, just let us do that.
The VIP expressed gratitude to management and staff of Gridco, government and other state agencies assisting his country in the power sector.
And that's Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Goodbye.